Hey you guys, welcome back to High Priestess Transmissions. My name is Nikki. I'm an initiated High Priestess, psychic medium, witch, and spiritual healer. And we need to talk about a very toxic pattern I keep seeing in numerous spiritualists. Okay? Your ancestors are not your attack dogs. None of your spirits are. Okay? But especially the ancestors, like y'all act like they are just little demons on crack. And I know that's kind of crass for me to say, but there's no other analogy. And your spirits are not here to punish every person who hurts your feelings. Okay, we have to talk about this. And let me be very clear, I am not claiming to be an elder. I'm not an elder. I'm intermediate level, I'm experienced, I've been on this path for 7 years. Wholeheartedly devoted, every single day, mind, heart, body, and spirit, dedicated to my path and my growth and my passion. Okay? I teach what I'm qualified to teach. I teach what I know works. And I'm still learning in other areas. Okay? But many of my audience is beginners or newer practitioners. So I know that having these heart-to-heart talks with y'all is very important because look y'all, there are enough problematic practitioners, okay? Super problematic. Just absolute diabolical menaces. Fleas in human form. Okay? We don't need any more. So if I can do my best to prevent it, I will. Many new practitioners expect their ancestors and their spirits to attack anyone who disappoints them, punish anyone that they're angry at, and just blindly take their side in every conflict. And this is very common in ancestor veneration and espiritismo. People treat, and Pablo sometimes, with their angangas, with their pots. People treat their spirits like spiritual hitmen. Okay? And assuming you are trying to work with good, honest, protective energies that are balanced and have integrity, those spirits are not blind, loyal enablers. Okay? If you are wrong, immature, disrespectful, or acting from ego, your spirits can and will correct and check you like a coat, like a checked bag, quickly. And the more you grow in that connection and the closer you get to them, the quicker they will do so. Okay? This is why, if I'm going to make a major life decision, especially in a relationship with someone, whether it's a romantic partner, a client, whoever, and that person is really hurting me or disrespecting me, I will go to them. If they haven't already communicated their feelings already, I will go to them and say, hey, am I seeing this clearly? And also, should I cut this person off? Or am I being irrational? And I tell my spirits, please tell me if I'm overreacting. Okay? I used to be a lot more fiery and impulsive. I've grown. Okay? But I go to them when I make major decisions because they've earned that trust. And I trust their judgment over emotional impulsivity. Okay, and I want to touch on another point. This goes for me and any other spiritual advisor or teacher or even godparent that you will have. If that spiritual teacher taught you how to work with these spirits, how to honor them, give your offerings, do your prayers, how to learn how to communicate with them, interpret dreams, do you really think those spirits will attack that teacher unjustly? Because y'all don't understand. When a spiritual teacher teaches you how to work with your ancestors and your spirit guides, they're not just helping you. they're also helping your ancestors and your spirit guides evolve. Because they're teaching you how to do what needs to be done so they can evolve. It goes both ways. And I'm making this video right now on behalf of all the ancestors, all the good ancestors in the spiritual realm. Because I know they're tired. They are overworked and underfed, Lord knows. You love Siren. Come on. It's always the motherfuckers that never feed their spirits, that haven't given them a plate of food in 2.5 months, that are sitting on the internet, rage baiting, and typing away on their keyboards, threatening other people with their ancestors. I'm like, your ancestors are fucking hungry, bro. Quit worrying about sicking them on people and get them some damn rice and beans. God damn. Over here threatening people when your spirits are depleted. And you've also depleted them because they're trying to keep your ass out of trouble. Lord. But my point is, they're not going to come attack me for you. Okay? And if they try, respectfully, and I'm not saying this to be cocky, okay? It is what it is. I've paid my dues. I've put in the work. If you, as a beginner, try to go toe-to-toe with my spirit team, unjustly, they will rock your shit, and your ancestors will let them. Because how dare you? Trying to use the same altar that I taught you how to set up to try to attack me. For no reason. Are you well? Alright, enough of the personal shit. Let's move on. Spirits know who has truly wronged who and who has not. Okay? Lord have mercy. And I personally evolved in my spiritual practice. I stopped cursing people. I haven't cursed anybody since 2022. Not because I'm scared, not because I'm weak or don't know how. It's just from a maturity and evolution standpoint. And now if somebody hurts me, I cut my losses, I heal myself, and I reclaim my energy. Because if I'm going to do a spell on that situation after somebody has hurt me and betrayed me, I'm going to take that life force energy and Ache and magic that I would have used and expended to hurt you. I'm going to take that and put it into myself instead. And I'm going to do a healing work for myself to heal the wound that you inflicted. But when it comes to my business and my clients, if they need dark work for a justifiable case, like if they've been essayed or God forbid their child has been essayed, oh no, I will curse that motherfucker 9 ways to Sunday 2 times in the same day. I will go to war for my clients. But me personally, nah. I'm just over it. I'm just like, because I've just gone through that phase. Like, I've seen what I can do and when I can make shit shake. You know, I know it's no secret, Cynthia and Doki is my mother and Paulo. I know what my mama can do. I know what she's capable of. And I've seen how she steps for me. You know? And if I change my mind and I want to work somebody, I know my Cynthia is there. If she agrees to it. You know? But I've just evolved out of that for right now. So that's how I know that you're still a very much beginner spiritualist, because you're still fascinated with curses and dark work. Anyway, someone with that mentality of treating their spirits like attack dogs should not be given deeper teachings prematurely. Because if they misuse basic reversal and protection work, they'll misuse more advanced work too. I'm not trying to be a bitch or call anybody out. It just is what it is. There's been one to two clients, 2 of them, that when they signed up for their mentorship, I made a lesson plan. And, you know, we had gone over basic cleansing, protection work, uncrossing, and then we get to a reversal, return to sender, or revocación, as we say in Spanish. And that week of that lesson comes, and Spirit comes to me and says they're not ready. Because they're over there with a list of names, plotting on who they're going to do this reversal on, and the people don't even deserve it. So Spirit's like, not right now, no. It's kind of like the principle of, you know, if I can't trust you with a pocket knife, I'm not giving you an AK-47. And it does matter what you teach. Because this is another important point that my spirits made earlier. Even though to my beginner students I don't teach dark work at all, even if I just stick to the fun, good stuff, like protection work, love spells, money spells, glamour magic, healing work, you know, all this good stuff, and they start practicing a lot, eventually they're going to want to become a professional spiritualist and open up a spiritual business and start taking clients for spell work or start doing spell work for their friends. And then they're going to end up really spiritually fucking those clients up. You know? Because they don't know how to use discernment. And for both of my long-term work, my containers, my healing container and my mentorship, this is exactly why I have my free discovery call beforehand, before I agree to take you on as a client. You can't just pay the price and sign up. You have to get the free discovery call first. And part of that is a mini reading where I just look at you, your energy, your outcomes that you want, your goals, what you need, what Spirit says. And also, it's ultimately just to make sure that we're a good fit energetically and that my spirits give their blessings. Okay? Because if they say no, it's no. And it's a week by week thing. Especially with the mentorship. Like, my spirits and yours watch to see how you're not only doing the ritual work, but what you're planning to use it for. And if they say on week 3 that you can't even be trusted with a revocation, with a return to sender spell, then we gotta tweak some things. And I gotta have a serious conversation with you. And it does come from a loving place. Because I care about y'all with all my heart, and I'm not gonna teach you something that could harm you or someone else. And I can't control you. I'm well aware that if I say, no, I'm not teaching you a reversal, they can go to YouTube and learn it for free. Or they can go to somebody else. It's about karmatically. You're not going to be able to say, Nikki taught you that. No, not doing it. And it's about ethical responsibility, not control. Because I'm not stupid. You can go to Google and YouTube. And there are some practitioners, they will teach you very twisted and fucked up things that as a beginner, you shouldn't even know are possible. But they just want to make some money. So they'll teach you and not give a fuck. I give a fuck about your growth. Okay? But spirituality does not replace emotional maturity. And some people don't need more magic. They need healing. They need self-awareness. They need therapy and nervous system work and shadow work. And this is why I'm always telling y'all, inner work is required to wield power responsibly. Or else you're just a fucking chaotic mess. And I'm not perfect. I don't have everything figured out. But I try 100% every single day. Okay? So the takeaway of all this is, yes, your spirits will defend you when necessary. I can honestly say, I know for a fact, mine will flip fucking tables over me. But I'm not on the internet parading that left and right, saying my spirits don't play about me, God don't play about me, my ancestors don't play about me. I don't have to tell y'all that. Quite honestly, my partly and doki ass, which means dark, by the way, in Palo, kind of doesn't want you to suspect that. I used to hate being underestimated, but over the years, I've learned it's actually a blessing. I'd rather you get sideswiped and not see it coming and think that my little spiritual corn is just a bunch of gypsies that just dance and smoke and drink all day and don't really care. You know? Which is what a lot of people think, but that's not true. Anyway, they strike when it's warranted. Okay, not whenever your ego's bruised, not when you've just had a bad day. We all have bad days. Okay? Because let me tell you something about having spirits that are evolved and walk in integrity. They might give a lot of grace. They might give a lot of warnings and patience. To the point where even as a mature, evolved spiritualist, you're looking at them like, y'all, where is the justice? What are y'all doing? And then one random Tuesday, they flip shit over. Okay? So when they strike, but they're smart about it. But your spirits are not they're not your attack dogs. They're your protectors, your guides, and your elders, and your teachers. Okay? Anyway, if you know your wounds, your triggers, or your unhealed patterns are impacting your relationships, your discernment, or your spiritual practice, my healing container might be for you. Okay? And you can find more about that in the description or at sirensnectar.com/healing. And for mentorship, if you're serious about learning spirituality responsibly, ethically, and with proper guidance, and from someone that will be your biggest cheerleader and actually gives a damn about you and your growth, and not just collecting rituals off the internet, apply for my mentorship. Okay? And you can, again, get that link either in the description or go to sirensnectar.com/mentorship. Okay? I love y'all with all my heart. I promise you, this message came from love. And some of y'all need to go feed your ancestors. They're hungry, okay? I love you. Bye.